Some sound advice from my partner here tonight. Some words to live by as the East All-Stars take on the West All-Stars from the Palace in Auburn Hills, Michigan. It is the 6th annual Magic Roundball Classic. Hi, everybody. Ron Franklin along with Dick Vitale. And Dick, this is an exciting week for high school players because it's time to commit to the high schools or wherever they're going to be playing. And I know that several have it. Rashard Lewis, who is from Ailey-Helsing, just outside of Houston, Texas. He's going to make somebody really happy.
I'll tell you, talk about a great talent. You talk about a shot blocker, a guy with tremendous agility and mobility. He's got great rejection ability. The word is, Ron, that he's thinking of Florida State or Kansas or maybe the NBA a la Kobe Bryant. The bottom line is I hope he goes to college and really enjoys what college is all about.
I do too. Al Harrington for the East team is another guy. Probably 3 different teams taking a look at him. He has not made up his mind. Another one that's going to bring smiles when he signs.
Well, you talk about Al Harrington coming out of St. Patrick's in Elizabeth, played high school with Shaheen Holloway. And I know Tommy Amica at Seton Hall would like to have him join Holloway and wear a Seton Hall uniform. But also St. John's is in the hunt with Fran Fraschilla. And you better watch out. Georgia Tech and the Rambler Rec have a great chance to get Mr. Harrington, the winner of the Naismith Award. This kid has the complete package. He's power, he's finesse, he's got great touch as well.
Well, the Palace in Auburn Hills, Michigan. Magic's Roundball Classic. This is edition number 6. And as we mentioned, going to break, absolutely the cream of the crop as far as high school talent. Here are the starting lineups. The head coach, Rufus McDuffie, for the East team, and he will have at the guards Ronald Blackshear and Corey Hightower. Keon Dooling also will start, so it'll be a 3-guard alignment. Get Zurich at the center position, the 6'11" youngster from The Hague, Holland, and Kevin Lyde also will be at center. Michael Miller, Rashard Lewis, Vincent Yarbrough, Ray Young, and Joel Prisbilla, who is headed for the Golden Gophers of Minnesota to play his college basketball. That's the way they start for head coach Ray Grant. Ray is out of Cleveland High School in Cleveland, Tennessee. Prisbilla is going to jump it up. Tom Rucker, the referee tonight. Nevinger and Lamont Simpson are the umpires in this one tonight, and the 6th annual Magic Roundball Classic is underway.
Man-to-man defense, Ron. It's very quiet in here. The Lakers played the Pistons here earlier today.
Yeah, it was interesting to watching Kobe Bryant 2 years ago. We were sitting here talking about him in a high school uniform. Running jumper, knocks it down. That's Corey Hightower, the youngster from Flint, Michigan.
Corey Hightower from out of Flint, Michigan, where they produce so many players. Very athletic.
Miller drives the lane, puts up the running jumper, and he swishes it as well.
I'll tell you, they're going to love him down in Florida, down there in Gatorland. They're going to absolutely adore Mr. Miller. He can score.
Turnaround jumper, that's blocked. Prisbilla got a hand on it, and at the other end, Young with the pass behind the back, and Prisbilla will score it.
I'll tell you, Prisbilla shows his great transition ability. I mean, you're going to talk about a great player going to Minnesota. Hey, maybe the coming of another Kevin McHale, stay at home and playing in Minnesota.
That's right. I talked to him and asked him as the ball is taken away. This is Yarbrough. Got Miller on the wing, feeds to him, and he slams it home.
I was teasing Miller. I said, I didn't know they made players like you in South Dakota, baby. And he said he almost went to Kentucky as well, but decided to play with Billy Donovan down in Gatorland.
Yeah, there was some comment about he wanted another face on the side of one of those South Dakota mountains up there.
Great talent. I tell you, watch these guys. You just see their agility and mobility. It's amazing.
Prisbilla, cross court to Miller. Right on the baseline, Rashard Lewis, the 6'10" youngster we were just talking about out of Ailey-Helsing.
I tell you, if he can step out and make that perimeter shot, because he's got the inside package, very explosive.
On the floor, almost stolen, and Zurich will save it. And this is Blackshear. The left hand, Prisbilla sends it back, his second block of the game. And his first foul of the game.
seen some big players on the interior with a lot of ability. Przybilla and certainly Gadzuric as well. As we're going to watch right now, the little dish off, the drop pass, the trailer. Przybilla showing he can run in transition. We're talking a 7-footer getting up and down the floor.
You know, Dick, it was interesting in visiting with Clem Haskins and his staff at the NIT in New York a week before last, and all he could talk about was this youngster. He said, Ron, he is the whole package. And investing with some other Big Ten coaches, they say it is a great stay at home. It's a great get for Minnesota.
He said he wanted to play in front of his family. His mom and dad are here. Gadzuric made that free throw. He's an interesting case from out of the Netherlands. Played over at Governor W. Academy out in Massachusetts. The big guy right now has his choices down to UCLA, Kentucky, Kansas, George Washington. And I really believe UCLA is going to be in great shape with him. He has to get the scores. He's already got his 880 on the SATs, but they're waiting for his grades to come in from out of the Netherlands in his first year.
Przybilla on the follow, couldn't get it to go. Lewis misses. Battling inside, and Przybilla, did he get it, or was it Vincent Yarbrough?
I think it was Przybilla working on the glass on the inside. When I talk about a kid like Gadzuric, you know, English is his second language coming out of the Netherlands, and I think the kid deserves an opportunity and a little break. I mean, the bottom line is he's a good student. He's proven that.
That foul is going to be on Lewis. You know, the interesting thing that he's only been in this country
exactly
for 2 years, playing basketball this style rather than what he was accustomed to in Europe.
Well, you know, with the sliding scale academically under the current situation with his GPA over in his high school now, he needs like a 9-10 on the SATs. But if you compile his grades out of the Netherlands, it absolutely reduces and he would be qualified. I think the kid should be qualified. I think those grades should count out of the Netherlands.
Keon Dooling, who is headed for Norm Stewart in Missouri, one of 2 players in this game. He and Clarence Gilbert, both out of Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, how did Norm wheel that magic to get him out of the sunshine of Florida?
Lewis way outside, couldn't get it to go. This is Blackshear. Nice lead to Dooling.
He's got a lot of shake and bake to him, Dooling. He can really handle the rocks.
Przybilla.
He's a space eater. Przybilla really laterally rebounds well.
Young lost it, and the ball knocked out of bounds. I'll tell you exactly what Gilbert and Dooling told me before the game this evening, is that Missouri was the only school who recruited both of them, and that's one of the reasons for the decision.
They wanted to go together. They wanted to play together, as we watch right now. Drive down the lane. Young taking the ball to the goal. Young's going to be joining Jerron Rush, superstar down at UCLA. If they get Gadzuric, that'll be a super class.
That's way off the mark. Przybilla. And Zurich battling with him, and it's going to stay right where it was.
You know, several of these players are thinking of going to the NBA. Guys like Gadzuric, Lewis. We hear talk maybe Harrington even will bypass going to college. I hope these kids realize many of them aren't ready for that kind of life. Not everybody has the ability of Kevin Garnett and Kobe Bryant.
And even those young men might tell you right now they wish they had gone for a couple of years.
Well, I think if you follow the NCAA tournament that just was completed, an unbelievable situation. March Madness was great. A salute out there to Tubby Smith and Pat Summitt. This kid can handle the basketball.
Miller.
Nice pass.
Nice look to Lewis, who jams it home.
Nice look on the interior. Rashard Lewis would look really pretty in a college uniform. You think they'd love him down there in Rock Chalk, Jayhawk land, or down in Seminole land?
Yeah, I think Roy Williams could find a uni to fit him quite quickly.
So would Steve Robinson.
Miller lost it, goes on the floor to get it. Przybilla hustles for it. Yeah, you could hear the slap.
You know, you mentioned Miller diving on the floor. What a class they're bringing in out of Florida. Teddy Dupay. We should see this little guy. Big-time scorer, averaged 40 a game, broke every record in the state of Florida. And he'll be joining Dupay as well as a kid, Ladarius Holton. And they got several players from out of Miami. A tremendous class. Also, DePaul's got a brilliant class coming in as well as Arizona.
That's right. So let's take a timeout. 7:36 left to play in this opening quarter. We are playing 4 quarters, 12-5, the West on top. The West has jumped out to a 12-5 lead. 4 points for Przybilla, Miller with 4, and also Lewis with 4. So Przybilla off to a good start as you look at Lewis jamming at home.
I'll tell you, Rashard Lewis really impresses me, and so does Przybilla out of the gate. Both guys have really showed flashes of brilliance, and you can understand why. They've been rated by all the gurus like the Bob Gibbons of the world with his all-star report, and all the people that really evaluate have rated them almost consensus top 10 players in America. Yeah, Charles O'Bannon's in the house today. Pistons player, played in the inaugural game of the Magic Round Ball Classic. Played in 1993. Came to the banquet last night, and so did Kobe Bryant. I was teasing Kobe at the banquet. We raffled off his jersey for $1,000. I got somebody to go for $1,000 for an autographed jersey.
That's great. Yarbrough knocks down the second one. The youngster out of Cleveland, Tennessee, who's headed for the Tennessee Volunteers. There's a three on the way, won't go, and here's Miller with the rebound and a quick outlet pass off Yarbrough's head, and Yarbrough can't save it. It's going to stay with the West.
You know, you talk about Yarbrough. He broke the hearts, Ron, of the people at Kentucky. They thought they really had him. But I'm going to tell you something. Jerry Green is building something special down there at Tennessee. Certainly, you got to credit Kevin O'Neal for starting it, bringing in some great players. But Jerry Green did a super job with them this year.
Yarbrough with a force on that shot right there, but the West just continues to out-hustle the East, and it's Young who cans it just inside the three-point line. First two for him.
Well, Ray Young, good athlete. He's got good range as a shooter. He played at St. Joseph's Notre Dame, same high school that produced Jason Kidd down in Oakland, California. Look how strong he is on the interior, Mr. Gadd. Oh, that was Mr. Lyde. That was Mr. Lyde going out to Temple. That's John Chaney's guy.
Lyde, an interesting story. He was 6'7" when he was in the 8th grade.
Hello. 6'7" in the 8th grade as a 13-year-old. He better get used to those 5 a.m. practices, baby.
6 quick points now for Lewis as he jammed another one home. You can see why he shoots such a great percentage as Prisbilla goes up and tries to alter that one. And here's Young, who will get the lob pass to Miller, and he threw it too far.
I see a lot of transition layups in all-star games like this. Little reverse jam. Dooling with the jam from out of Fort Lauderdale. You know, I was talking about Lyde. He's going to be a perfect fit for Temple in their system. And I'm telling you, he's going to learn from one of the best. A man destined to be a Hall of Famer, John Chaney.
You know, Lyde in one game this year had 26 rebounds, Dick.
Wow, that's big time.
Here's Dooling. Little showtime. Understand this about Dooling and his jumping ability. He was MVP at the NBA camp this year and won the slam dunk. And he's what? Only 6'3".
And you can see why. As you watch Lewis now going down the lane. There's Rashad with that little jam. A power dunk. On the other end, we had Mr. Dooling, as we're going to see the little windmill jam. The guy you're talking about, Ron. Look at him right here. They're going to love him up there in Missouri.
Headed to Columbia.
They got a pretty good nucleus coming back. If Albert White gets healthy, had a little surgery on his ankle.
Albert has another season. That's exactly right. In fact, they were a ball club that was very young and had to go through the pains of youth this year.
They were up and down. They had some great wins and some bad losses.
Couldn't win on the road. At home, they knocked off Kansas.
You got to be able to win away from home, at least win your share.
Norm Stewart, isn't that amazing? 4 of the last 5 years, he's beaten Kansas at Columbia.
Wow.
Gates falling away. Kansas. Antonio headed for Michigan State. And in fact, folks, you can look at that body. He's going to play football and basketball.
He's a linebacker. Last year, a kid in his game, Lorenzo Guest, did both as well.
Harris London out of Memphis, Tennessee. Played his ball at Hamilton High School.
Harris London. I wonder what his nickname is.
Madrid.
Harris Madrid London. We get a nickname of Madrid.
Hey, sounds like 3 good stops to me. All the way. That is Lloyd Price, youngster out of Wilmington, Delaware. Played at Oak Hill Academy.
Bonus going out to Xavier where they got a fine nucleus coming back. Lloyd Stagger Lee Price. Remember that song? Stagger Lee.
That's exactly
right.
right.
Got a nickname for him. Stagger Lee down here in Xavier land. Skip Prosser. What a nice club coming back. They got Brown and Lumpkin back at the guards. Darnell Williams, James Posey.
You know, Price, 62% from the field and an 82% free throw shooter.
And that is unique when you shoot 80% today's day on a free throw line. That is special.
That means he hasn't just been working on the jam, which everybody else is busy doing, right?
Exactly. Nice pass.
Nice little give and go.
Very simple. The oldest play in basketball. Give and cut without it. Something we don't see a great deal of, Ron. A lot of them will shoot without the basketball. That's something Utah did very well. The running Utes, Rick Majerus' club, had great movement. They were well structured, but they all moved exceptionally well without the ball.
Gage shows a very quick first step. Nicky also told me he's going to play a little tight end maybe, and I asked him which is his favorite, and he said it's 50-50. I love basketball. I love football. Football's not going to bother me as far as what I do for Tom athleticism.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. His grandma was so proud of him last night at the banquet. She came running over to me, talking to me all about Antonio. And you could just see the sense of pride she had in her grandson.
Well, that's understandable. Average 25 points a game as the long outsider is not there. Williams with the follow.
I don't think we're going to see too much blocking out in a situation like this. And I know one thing, again, getting back to Utah, they were so fundamentally solid. They blocked out, they made the extra pass, but Kentucky wore them down here in that national championship game.
Sure did. That was the difference. That's going to be turnover. It'll head back the other way.
You know, Kentucky's got some great recruits coming in as well. Not in his game. Tayshaun Prince coming in, Desmond Allison, a kid Suleiman Kamara, a shot blocker. I got Kentucky rated preseason #1 next year. They're going to be
really?
magazine. Oh, Muhammad's back. You got all those kids returning. Paget, Turner.
Lance Williams missed the shot. He battles for it and goes into the stands to try to save it.
He's going out to DePaul, part of that class with Quentin Richardson and company. I mean, Pat Kennedy didn't waste any time. As you look at the brain trust, Camilla, Georgia. That's also produced a guy by the name of Jermaine Jones, who I know you love out of Georgia.
I had him about 5 times this year, Dick, and I'll tell you, wow. If there was a better freshman in America, I don't know, it wouldn't take long to call the roll, would it?
Start time, guys.
Ball number 33, Antonio Williams.
2, gentlemen.
Mitchell Baker High School, Camilla, Georgia. As you look at Al Harrington.
Rufus McDuffie does a great job out there. He's got another kid in his game in black shoes. He's going to go to prep school. Winchendon Prep told me that's the same school that produced Randall Jackson.
Sunday night baseball, the Astros and the Dodgers, 8 o'clock Eastern time. The Astros, even bigger bats this year, trying to get them going.
Well, they got a Lou now going with Bagwell. What a combination. I love baseball. Got my season tickets down there with the Double Rays.
You like them?
Oh, I went there a few games already. Look at the strip right out here. Oh, nice little strip and a little jam.
Al Harrington shows that at 6'9", he also can have the quick hands and take it away.
All I hear are nothing but positives about Harrington. He's got the total game. He can go inside, outside.
A little dipsy-do, couldn't get it to go. The other end, Harrington behind the back, and it's going to be taken away by Williams.
Trying to get a little too flashy.
Talk about some serious ups. There's Clarence Gilbert. He is the other youngster that is headed to the University of Missouri, also played at Dillard High School in Fort Lauderdale.
I tell you, get 2 kids on the same high school team with that kind of ability, that is unique and special.
They said that the situation was right, and the Missouri wanted both of them, and they said, hey, let's go. Harrington can't get it to go, and the follow by Lloyd Price.
Lloyd Price, little Stagger Lee getting up on the glass.
Stagger Lee's only played basketball for 5 years. He only started in the 8th grade.
See a lot of standing around on a defensive end. Everybody wants it behind the back, around the legs, flashy, showtime, pizzazz time. Have your fun now, baby, because when you get into a college situation, a lot of this stuff is sent to the sideline. You see the strip by Harrington?
Either that or you will be.
All right. There he is with the jam. I see Tommy Yamaka. I was teasing him at the banquet last night. I said, it's really nice you coming in town to see me. But I found out it wasn't me.
Williams lost the handle on that one going up. And will put up his own foul. Not there. And Al Harrington comes away with it.
He's got that handle, led his team to the high school state championship. Great high school out there, St. Patrick's in Elizabeth. For years, they've had a tremendous tradition in basketball. So many great programs in New Jersey, certainly, and not too many better than St. Anthony's in Jersey City, coached by Bob Hurley.
Let me ask you a question. As Harrington goes to the line, we get all kind of stuff, information about these kids and everything. He averaged almost 24 points a game in high school, but it says he wants to work on his jumper. And that he tries to shoot 2,000 jumpers a day. Wow. How long could you shoot? How long would it take you to shoot 2,000? Maybe that's a misprint. Maybe it was supposed to be 200.
Yeah, I think maybe more like 200. And that might be stretching it. I mean,
that right arm might be a lot longer than the left with it. 6 points now for Al Harrington.
Some of the kids would also understand a little bit more time in the library will also serve tremendous. What I tried to speak to him about yesterday, about some of the things that I think are important, making good decisions as to who you associate with. You're not going to see much strategy here, people. You're going to see a lot of up and down. You're going to see a lot of individual skills.
London Suspends, can't get it to go. Nice work in the middle, and Price.
I tell you, I like the way Price plays on the offensive boards. And with that quickness and that pressing defense of Xavier, he's going to fit in perfectly. Got 8 points already.
You bet. 8 points already. Stagger Lee.
He's got a new nickname. He doesn't know it. That's in our era, Ron. We get back to Stagger Lee and Lloyd Price.
Here comes Al Harrington.
I like the way he handles. He's got good handle, Harrington. Shot an NBA three right there.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris
Lang, who's headed for North Carolina, jams it home just before the horn sounds, and it's a 29-26 lead. The East has roared back and gone on top. Let's take a break. We'll be back with more of Magic's Round Ball Classic right after this. 29-26, the East has forged on top, and let's go back, about 24 hours, actually about 12 hours. Look at, you do it.
No.
Here's Kobe.
No $1,000 now, man. No $1,000 now. Bill Gates doesn't play with $1,000 bills.
She works for Bill Gates.
So this last night, as you were working at the dinner and the auction, obviously.
Well, she donated $1,000, but when she told me she worked for Microsoft and worked for Bill Gates, I said, we got to raise that to $2,000. Are you kidding me? He doesn't deal with $1,000.
Plus the fact the stock had just gone up that
It was nice of her to make that offer, and for a great cause for Magic's Foundation.
Young, nice move to the hoop. Wow.
They're going to like him down at UCLA. They're going to use his athletic ability and his quickness. They lose Toby Bailey. He'll be a nice guy fitting in for Steve Lavin.
You know, one other thing about Ray Young, it's a nice story. His coach, Laporte, died of cancer. As you see the unselfish feed, Lewis couldn't get it to go, but he said that the Coach Laporte meant so much to him, and this past season was like dedicated to him.
Well, Coach Laporte had a great reputation in that area. I remember doing a game where Jason Kidd was involved, and Kidd played for him as well.
Hey, Joe.
I like Prisbella, I'll tell you.
I do too.
Nothing flashy, but just gets it done. He's going to be a big-time player in the Big Ten. Quality player. I can see why Clem the Gem is on cloud 9. Look at him posting inside against Gadzorek.
Nice way outside Ray Young. By the way, the West jumped out 16-5. The East since then 24-10.
And Ray Young showing inside-outside ability. We saw his driving, slashing ability, and then saw the perimeter jump shot.
Dooley left it on the floor. By the way, we are playing 4 12-minute quarters. As Hightower with the lob inside.
We don't see too many lobs on the interior. I think the big guy was shocked. He was shocked, Kevin Light. He didn't know the rock was coming to the inside. And I mentioned last night also at the banquet, when I think of Young and UCLA going there, Jelani McCoy not playing, and we talked about Jason Williams, Keon Clark, kids who didn't make good decisions. You got to be accountable for your decisions, and I hope in life that these kids learn they're young enough to be able to get their life back on track because they let themselves down, their schools down, and most of all, their family.
Could not agree more as Rashard Lewis scores his 8th point of this first half.
Rashard Lewis on the inside. In fact, the best guard performance I witnessed all year in games that I did, as we see the three-point shot from the perimeter, Blackshear, was by Jason Williams. Brent Musburger and I were in awe against Kentucky when he had them on their heels. Backdoor cut. He was brilliant, and then a week or two later, he's suspended.
I'll tell you what, nice pass here. Miller scores it.
Miller gets the deuce, but what a great look on the inside from Young.
Miller now with 6 as Doolin pulls up, misses the jumper, and here's Miller. Nice outlet pass to Young, had Yarber on the wing, but
he's got all the moves. I'll tell you, he's got shake and bake time. He's going to excite him down at UCLA.
Zurich with the rebound, and that's going to be a foul at midcourt. Ray Young.
Going to watch Young right now, dropping it inside, and there's the little catch and the score and a rebound by Lewis. Alief, Texas. You said it's near Houston, huh?
Yeah, Alief.
Alief, Texas.
Alief Elsik High School.
Clyde DeGlide Drexler's not involved.
You know, that was brought up when he got the job, and Zurich scores. The family made the statement, Lewis did, that just because Clyde was there, it still was not going to sway them, that they were going to, they had not made up their mind as far as where he was headed.
Well, Clyde really, I think, gives him great visibility, notoriety, entry into homes, but he better surround himself with a staff that really understands all the nuances involved in the NCAA rules and regulations, because they are unbelievable.
Just under 9 minutes to play in this opening half. Been a seesaw battle. The West is back on top now, 35-34. As Dooling dishes the ball off. Gadzurik in the turnaround, and you can see that he's learning quickly.
Well, Gadzurik down in the post, but I like the penetration ability of Dooling. You can see that he is going to really create an opportunity to get a lot of PT playing time down in Missouri.
Brisbella got to square up to the hoop, missed the 10-footer though.
Last year in this game, remember, we had Tracy McGrady, we had Lamar Odom. They tell me there's a great chance that Odom may be playing at Rhode Island next season. What a saga. That has become an unbelievable soap opera. Jimmy Herrick, what a job he did in his first year at Rhode Island. Came so close. That dramatic game, that unbelievable comeback by Stanford. In fact, I'll lay my top 4 in America on you for next year. Number 4, Stanford the Cardinal. Got everybody back. Number 3, Connecticut's going to be loaded with Hamilton and certainly Khalid El-Amin, who had a great year. Number 2, the Dukies. I mean, they're going to be flat out loaded. And number 1, I'm staying down in Lexington, baby. I'm staying in Bluegrass country with Tubby and Kentucky.
Not a bad 4. Gadzurik couldn't hold on.
He was shocked. It was a great look, a great pass. Wasn't ready for it.
7:53 left until halftime, so let's go away for a moment. The East on top by 1. It's the 6th Magic Round Ball Classic. East by 1, just under 8 minutes left until halftime. Dick, as far as folks who had theirs,
Charles O'Bannon.
Charles O'Bannon.
Played on a national championship team, 5 years, was there because of a knee injury. Played the 4, was had a brilliant career.
See, to me, he's had it all. He played in this game, 5 years at UCLA, won a national championship, and still got the big money. It didn't hurt him at all.
Wait a minute. I think we're thinking of Ed O'Bannon played 5 years.
It is.
Ed played 5 years. That's right. Charlie played 4, though, and got the degree and got the national title.
Beg your pardon, you're exactly right.
Yeah, Eddie O'Bannon is now playing in Italy. His mom is here at the game. She helps out every year. Hello! I mean, is that kid going to be exciting? Oh, is he going to be exciting?
He's got 8 points. And at the other end, Prisbella, who also, he's now got 6, but add 5 rebounds for Prisbella as well.
I tell you, nobody got back defensively. Bad shot. Bad shot right there. Dooling's got some serious hops, I'll tell you that.
Kevin Lyde was right there, missed the jam. And Young is fouled by Hightower.
Keon Dooling's got some serious hops. Great flash, a little fake, a one-hand jam, a little showtime. He likes the camera.
Dick, we mentioned that he not only was the MVP of that NBA camp, but that he won the slam dunk, and you can see why at 6'3".
I also used as an example yesterday, at the banquet, Charles O'Bannon and Ed O'Bannon and their mom there talking about how it starts at the home. They got great leadership at home with mom and dad, totally involved in everything they do, scrutinizing the people they associate with. And when you got that kind of character and that buildup, and that's the one thing Kobe Bryant, in making a transition, people don't understand. Kobe's got a great support system. He speaks 3 languages fluently. He's going back to school, taking some classes. We're talking about a kid in a very unique environment. Mom and dad are educated.
Gadzurik,
nice
give and
pass.
go. Nice pass. And
Oh,
my goodness.
Oh, how would you like to match that in a game of horse? How would you like to match that in a game of course?
Hightower just made the highlight reel on this year, his 4th point.
Mount Zion Academy, played at Flint Northwestern originally. There he is now, a little highlight time with the left hand on the glass. Mount Zion Academy out there in Durham, North Carolina. That's where Tracy McGrady played last year.
Corey averaged 25 points a game.
Came out of a great city. You talk about Flint, Michigan. They produce so many outstanding players. Think of Andre Rison and Glenn Rice.
Lewis scores again. You see his athleticism and knack to just take it to the hoop and score.
He's a big-time player. There's no question, Ron. He would be flat out what I would classify a PT peer. He's a prime-time player among the prime-time players. He's a step above.
He's got 5 rebounds and looking for point number 11, which he gets.
I got a crazy feeling we may see his name in the NBA draft, and I really wish it would be on a collegiate level. But he's in a situation right now that's been documented. I certainly am not mentioning something that's out of school, but it's been documented that he has to get the necessary scores on the standardized test to be able to be eligible.
Dooley again.
Dooley's putting a heck of a show on. Isn't it amazing, though, that the penalty, he's got already 10 points, but the penalty for not making a score is that you get thousands and thousands of dollars in the NBA. And I mean, I wonder sometimes what that does to the motivational factor of really, really getting to score.
Yeah, I'm not sure it sends the right message, which is exactly what you're saying. Well, multiple substitutions now. We'll just pick them up as the game goes on. Chris Lang, we see the number 54 checking in.
There's Keon Dooling. His dad told me the elevator coming down here. You watch my boy. My boy's going to be special. Mr. Dooling, you are right.
There's no doubt about that. Williams uses his body nicely, but he can't get it to go down.
Yeah, he's a low post player. He's a power guy on the inside. City of Chicago has produced a lot of good high school players this year. Bobby Simmons and Lance Williams, and certainly when you talk about Quentin Richardson, big-time player going out to the playoffs.
That's a good cut. Oh, and Price missed.
Nice change of direction.
Yates.
Nice kick out. Gates made that nice little dish. You can see he's a linebacker with a lot of agility.
It's really good acceleration. He really got out quickly with the ball.
Harrington with that long-range jump shot. He's going to be a factor down in North Carolina State, where they got news also with the commitment of Shea Cotton coming down here for Herb Sendek. He's got that program heading in the right direction, and Harrington will play a factor in that perimeter. Hey, Antonio Gates can score. He can flat-out score.
Knocked out of bounds by Williams as he got back defensively.
You can see they loved him down at Central High School in Detroit, Michigan, All-Stater. Mr. Basketball in his state, Dane Fife, going out to Indiana, not playing in this game. People have to understand you can only commit to play in 2 games according to NCAA rules.
This is Gilbert, and he shows a lot of quickness. Fort Lauderdale Dillard, you can imagine with these two guys in the backcourt.
They're playing against each other.
Yeah.
And they've been playing together with each other since about the 7th grade.
Dick, figure this. They scored between Gilbert between the two of them almost 50 points a game. And I asked, just before the game, I asked Keon Dooling, and I said, did anybody else average in double figures? And he said, yes, the inside guy.
Wow. Drive to the basket.
Lloyd Price, now he is in double figures, has 10.
I tell you, Lloyd's going to be a solid player down there with Skip Prosser. That system of transition, basketball, pressing defenses, he's going to fit it perfectly.
Williams knocks it down, and you can see why. He scored 53 points in Vegas in the big-time tournament.
He's got a great smile on his face as well. He's got good personality, but he's a solid low-post player. Good low-post and a block kind of guy.
Too hard as Williams comes up with the rebound. He looks like that tough kind of player who likes to have the body on somebody.
He's got a body to lay on somebody as well. I like to lay my body, but my body doesn't work.
He now has 6 points, speaking of Lance Williams. And stolen by Gates.
There's Gates. Football, basketball. Oh! He bricked one in front of all his friends and family.
It doesn't matter if he scores 50. They will remind him of that.
Yes, sir. A lot of offensive rebounding because you do not see the art of the blockout. The art of the blockout is history in games like this.
Al Harrington wound up scoring the 2 points.
Nice dish by Williams. Frankie Williams from out of Peoria Manual High School. Played with McLean and Griffin. Both guys, one well played this year for Illinois. Griffin eventually will get there. He's in junior college. McLean's dad is here, who coached Frank Williams, won 4 straight state championships in a row prior to this year, and that's the first time it's ever been achieved in Illinois.
That's right, 49-46. We'll take a break in the action. We'll be right back with more from the Palace. 3-point lead for the West. They jumped out to a big margin, and the East came back. The top performers for the West, Dick, Lewis, 11 points and 5 rebounds. Brisbella with 6 points and 6 boards. And 7 for Young. A couple of rebounds for him. And Lance Williams now with 6 points.
Yeah, Young has really looked good as well. I like him. Frank Williams, by the way. Frankie was voted Mr. Basketball by the Chicago Tribune out in the state of Illinois. And he'll be playing for the Fighting Illini. In fact, he was teasing yesterday his buddy Lance Williams. He said, if we played against the Ball, we'd win. I said, we're going to ask Mr. Vitale what he would think. I said, don't get me involved in that. They should play. They don't play, but the Bull of Illinois should play every year. There's that jump shot by Lang from out of Gastonia. His mother reminded me yesterday, I kept saying he was from Charlotte. She said, that's a turnover. He's from Gastonia where they produced James Worthy.
That's a turnover.
Sleepy Floyd.
You know, he's going to fit right in to the Carolina style. He's not one that's a lot of gingerbread. He's just very basic and very sound.
Very fundamental. He's going to get some playing time early because if you look at the cast coming back, I have to believe that Antoine Jameson and Vincent Carter most likely will join the NBA. Both are being designated as top 5 selections along with Michael Bibby, Paul Pierce, and you got to believe that most likely, Rafe LaFrentz obviously, that they will come out. And if that happens, if both leave school, I hope they come back. But if they both do follow what everybody's saying, I mean, these kids are going to play right away. Ron Curry and Capel, Jason Capel, and Chris Lang.
Left it alone with off the mark Antonio Gates on that long set shot. Speaking of long set shots, Al Harrington misses. The follow inside, it's Stagger Lee, Mr. Lloyd Price.
Stagger Lee really working on the glass. He's compiling and piling up those points.
Frankie Williams putting up the long jumper. Sergio McLean and Marcus Griffin are already at Illinois, so he'll be rejoining a couple of guys that played at Emmanuel High School.
Right, Griffin's going to junior college right now, but he's ultimately committed to Illinois, and McLean was a solid player. Lon Kruger did a heck of a job this year without any size.
Price scores it, fouled by Williams.
I'll tell you, Price really impressive here today. Showed he can post on the inside. Comes out of that school that's produced so many players. Oak Hill Academy out there in Virginia. There's Price locking on a box inside. This is a great coup for Skip Prosser and Xavier getting this talent.
Price has already got 14 points, and he's gone to the board and gotten 5 rebounds.
You know, mentioned Xavier. Cincinnati's got a phenomenal recruiting class coming in. They got a kid, Pete Michael, went to junior college, Indian Hills, and Iowa. They won the national title 2 years in a row, won 72 games in a row, and this kid can play. And then they got the big guy coming in, Little, as well as a kid by the name of Brand as well. And so they're Eugene Land. They're going to really be a solid program.
That's a good job by Lang defensively on that series right there, Dick. Lance Williams.
Just a little layup.
Lance now with 8. The beneficiary of that. He had gotten knocked down at the other end, so he was a little ahead of the pack.
Harrington showing his driving ability, taking the ball right to the basket. You know, Bobby Huggins, I mentioned, I thought he had a great job this year with Cincinnati. And he's going to lose some key players, and Ruben Patterson, but he did a great job blending that team, especially with all the suspensions. And now with this new talent coming in, Cincinnati's program is just going to continue to rise.
Al Harrington now with the dozen. We're under a minute to play.
This kid can handle the rock, Frank Williams. Frankie can really handle it. He wants to break him down one-on-one.
Swishes it. Averaged 25.6 points a game, 8 rebounds, and 11 assists per
Wow,
outing.
that's pretty impressive numbers in any league. As Harrington showing that touch, he's got touch, he's got unbelievable talent. I mean, he can do many things. You just go watch him 5 minutes, you can see why the college guys are going wah-wah over him.
76% free throw shooter in high school.
Wow. First team All-State 2 years in a row, All-American in high school. He's a Rolls Racer. He and Shaheen Holloway hooked up. I know Tommy Amick would love to see them hook up again, but Bobby Cremins is saying, no, we're going to put him out there with Mr. Dion Glover and company. Hey, if he goes down to Georgia Tech, Dion Glover, you talk about also Jason Collier, Alvin Jones, I mean, they would be unbelievable. But so would Seton Hall. I mean, a kid like that could take a program like Seton Hall to the next stop as well. New Jersey kid. So there's reason to go either place, I guess.
Harrington left alone for 3.
He can shoot it.
counts. Adam Harrington.
Adam Harrington can flat out shoot the rock, and that's what they want him to do up at NC State.
So we are at halftime, and the East is surged back in front. 63-53 at the intermission. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. 63-53 our score at halftime with the East on top by 10. Let's go back and take a look at some of the moments that we'll remember for a while.
Gadzuric with that save. Now we're going to watch the little guy. Little shake and bake, change the direction. Keon Dooling, take it to the rack, big fella. Gem City. There's the lob inside, the turn, to score. The offensive rebound, Rashard Lewis. And Mr. Harrington with the little drop down and kick it back out. And Harrington drills the three at the buzzer at halftime. He's going to NC State. Herb Sendik's got a good one.
Well, the East now, look at this, 55%. West, 41%. Three-point attempts, significant. 1 of 10 for the West. And in turnovers, 10 for the East, 4 for the West. But that high shooting percentage kind of offsets it there.
Yeah, the East with the big percentage of 55, a lot on the interior, as you see a lot of Brick City, USA from the three. Total of 3 for 18. Harrington was really impressive in the first half. 15 big points run, and as you and I talked off the air, had 8 rebounds as well.
Also, how about Price? 15 points and 7 rebounds.
Yeah, Price was another guy very impressive. I really think he's a big timer. You look at Tom Rucker, one of the premier referees out of the Big Ten, working with Lenny Meminger, whose birthday's today. Happy birthday. His mom and dad are listening from out of New York City.
And Lamont Simpson also on this this crew with them.
Meminger started years ago working his way up and now is working in the Big Ten.
There you see the individual scores, Dick. 15 and 15 for Price and Harrington. Dooley with 10. Lewis with 11. Williams with 8. And Young with 7.
In these games, if you can get your team to get back defensively and really defend the transition game, you got a chance you'll win. But the basic problem here is there's no rotation back, and people get all kinds of layups because there's no rotation at all. Once a guard penetrates, forget about it. If he misses, it's the other way for a layup.
That was Dooling for his 12 points, and Lance Williams picks up right where he left off in the first half.
He understands post play. He knows his strength. His strength is to put his back to the basket, go in the lane, and score.
Gadzuric with the turnaround jumper. Impressive with the 12-footer.
I got a feeling we're going to see him wear a UCLA uniform. That's the way he was talking last night up in the suite, the Adidas suite.
Lance Williams, Gadzuric altered the shot.
3 on zip. See what I'm talking about? Nobody back. There it is. Layupville.
Keon Dooling.
Everybody's so impressed at halftime. I ran into Norm Stewart. I said, what are you going to do with him? He said, play him. He said, play him.
Gadzuric altered that shot. Gates gets it back. And will score the 2.
You can see why Gates averaged 25 a game at a Central High School. What a linebacker as well. Forget about football, though. Put the basketball uniform on. Ron Curry's going to try to do both as well at North Carolina. Great quarterback, super athlete, and a great young guy. He will really fit the image of North Carolina.
Tommy Rucker looking down like that's a turnover. Yes, that's what they're going to call. One more look.
There's Gadzuric catching it on the interior with that little jump shot.
Yeah, Gilbert and Dooling, I'm sure Norm would like to put them on a plane and take them right back to Columbia right now. Make sure they get there safely. I don't blame him.
You know, you talk about the Big 12 and you talk Missouri, Kansas, what a job. You talk about Roy Williams and that job he has done there over the years. To average 28 wins a year for 10 years is just incredible when you think about it. If a guy does that for 1 year, they give him a new 5-year extension. Unreal. This guy's done it for better than 10.
Think about this. The senior class that just graduated at Kansas never lost a home game.
That's
59
amazing.
in a row. That's just unbelievable.
Amazing. What were they, 35-4 this year?
Yeah.
Last year, like 36-2. I mean, those are just unbelievable numbers, but we live with a mentality now. What do you do in a tournament? It seems to always come down to that. And people say, well, what happened to Kansas? What happened? I know a lot of coaches that give their right arm to have those kind of numbers.
Gilbert misses the outside jumper. Gadzuric has done some good work here in the early going of this third quarter.
He was so impressive when I saw him last summer. I had a chance to speak at the ABCD basketball camp, and he really made a name for himself at that camp.
Ball taken away. You see Weber, number 23 in the game. He's the alternate.
That's Chris Webber's brother.
Yeah. David
Chris
is
brother.
out of Southfield, played at Country Day.
Yeah, he's going out to Central Michigan. His dad was at the banquet last night. A beautiful guy. His dad, just a great person. Really loved talking to him. Talked to him several years ago. Chris now playing out there with the Washington Wizards.
David Weber, number 23. So if you see that new number in red on the floor, he's the alternate. And we've been told that Kevin Lyde, his knees are giving him some trouble, so that's the reason he's not playing.
Gadzuric with that block shot right there. Hey, we also want to say to people out there, Magic Johnson not with us now because of someone that he's very, very close with, is gravely ill. Magic, so it's not Magic, but basically his loyalty and his love for this individual made him not able to be with us, and he does so much for young people.
Well said. About to go under 9 minutes left in this third quarter. This is Blackshear. Watch him try to create. Pulls up, 18-footer.
Gets the roll, gets the bounce.
Gets bounce, and then the roll. That's right.
Yeah, gets that roll and bounce.
Blackshear now with 5.
Played for Rufus McDuffie down there at Mitchell Baker High School, down in Camilla, Georgia. And I always can count on you to have all the notes and stats. You're right. Your machine prints them up so beautifully, and I'm cheating right here.
So in other words,
there he is. Coach McDuffie really proud and happy.
Boy, he should be. We talked about Jermaine Jones, who graduated last year playing at Georgia.
They came on strong, Georgia, as the year progressed, and I think next year you're going to see them have a better year.
MSL action, MLS 7:30 on Saturday. Major League Soccer, Colorado Rapids taking on DC United. And, of course, with Colorado defenseman Marcelo Boa, also a member of the national team.
Okay, if you want to know about soccer, just call up Mr. Bob Lee. He is absolutely an expert in that soccer. He's showing his strength right now. Gadzuric taking over on the interior.
14-point lead now. Gadzuric now with a total of 7 points.
Gadzuric really working the glass. Steve Lavin must be drooling watching on TV saying, I got to get him. I need a big guy on the inside.
Weber going to go to the free throw line as he got it blocked, taking it to the hoop, but also foul.
Comes out of a great high school, Detroit Country Day, one of the real blue chip high schools. Will Robinson, God bless him. Here's a guy that beat cancer. He was on my staff years ago. Should have been the first coach at the university. Well, he was the first African-American coach in Division I, coached at Illinois State when he had Doug Collins. Should have had the job at the University of Detroit years ago. He coached Spencer Haywood in high school, and just an unbelievably knowledgeable person with great personality and just a great guy, great passion for the game.
Way outside, that's beyond the NBA line. Frank Williams off the mark.
You know, I talk about Will Robinson. I think of a guy that used to run the St. Cecilia's League. Gadzuric. I mean, he's putting a little show on right now, taking over the game.
So is Dooley. Yeah. What a great assist and pass inside.
Great look. I used to years ago go down to that St. Cecilia League. Sam Washington, the late Sam Washington, used to have all the great high school players play there.
Look at Gadzuric go on the floor.
He created that.
Hightower. Weber, nice spin move and unselfish, gets it back to Hightower, and he scores.
Well, Hightower was trying to give a pass, trying to get an assist out to Weber. Instead, Weber comes up with the offensive rebound. You don't believe that? That was air ball, baby.
Hightower with 6.
Came out of Flint, Michigan. Produced so many high school players in Flint. We think about some of the guys, Flint Northwestern, where he started his career. They've had guys like Glenn Rice, Andre Rison, Jeff Grayer. Are you kidding me? Anthony Pendleton, Trent Tucker. Wow. Then there's Flint Central with Terrence Green, who went out to DePaul, and Eric Turner at Michigan. I mean, there's Flint. You talk about some great high school. Wow.
So let's take a break. 7-11 left to play in this third quarter. The East, 78-59. 78-59, East trying to make a runaway of this one all of a sudden, and they were down big time. Pat Kennedy.
Hey, Pat Kennedy, the ball.
You were talking about the class he signed. It was outstanding.
Well, he's really on cloud 9 right now. Did a solid job at Florida State, replaced by Steve Robinson. Now he's down at DePaul. He's on all the talk shows, promoting, and I'll tell you one thing. He took his hits this year, but he's certainly going to change things in the future with the class he has coming in.
Well, speaking of hits, Antonio Gates, we have documented. He's going to play football and basketball. By the way, National Hockey League action, the Anaheim Mighty Ducks against the San Jose Sharks. That is tonight, 10:30 Eastern Time on ESPN2. Fire on Ice. Weber.
He's going out to the Mid-American Conference where they produce a lot of good players. Central Michigan, solid basketball program. You think of Western Michigan this year, very impressive at the NCAA. Sadie Washington was impressive at the All-Star tournament just held down at Portsmouth. Also down there in Virginia, Felipe Lopez played brilliantly according to the scouts. Doesn't shock me. I think Lopez is going to be a very good player at the next level. He's got great attitude, excellent transition player.
Well, Lance Williams at the line, and we just saw Pat Kennedy just a second ago. As you see the tip, nobody blocked that. Mention doesn't happen. By the way, Flint Northern. You know where Williams is from, right?
You know, I forgot to mention Flint Northern. You're right, Ron. The team Cleves, what a great year he had this year. He's going to make my preseason first-team All-American team.
Dueling. Hightower.
There's Hightower with the drive along that baseline. And the reason I say that, when I pick my point guard, obviously I would pick Michael Bibby, but I think Bibby will join Jamison and Carter and Pierce along with LaFrentz to be the top 5 in the NBA draft. I don't know which order, but I believe those are the 5 big guys in the draft.
You were talking about Roy Williams in Kansas a while ago, and his 10 years there as Blackshear puts up a long three-pointer. Pierce decided to go pro. First time that Roy has lost an underclassman to the NBA.
Doesn't shock me at all. Poor Pierce, to me, is going to be an outstanding small forward. Put in 3 years on a collegiate level. But you know what? I'm going to tell you this. Those people that think that Kansas is going to be down, forget about it. They're still going to be very solid. Eric Chenoweth's going to become a big-time player on the inside. And I love this guard they're bringing in. I saw him at the McDonald's, Jeff Boschee. I saw him at the McDonald's three-point shooting contest, and he's got range as a shooter. He's from out of North Dakota. And they got Ryan Robertson back. They also got the other kid, the big kid from LSU to transfer back, Lester Earl. So they're going to be a solid basketball team once again. Roy Williams wouldn't have it any other way.
Ryan Robertson, of course, at guard. Did such a...
And Kenny Gregory. I love Kenny Gregory.
Yeah. Kenny Gregory is continuing to find his way. Lewis now with 13 points. You can see wholesale substitutions. And West got to get it going. They looked very strong in the first half, but falling behind. Harrington way outside, and Adam, that was behind the NBA 3-line.
Well, Adam went over the 2,000 mark in high school out of Massachusetts, and he is going to be really a great asset for Herb Sendek and NC State, especially the way they play.
Ray Young now with his first hoop of the second half. Ray is in double figures with 10. Harrington, by the way, Adam averaged almost 32 points a game at Pioneer Valley up in Massachusetts.
Great attitude. Nice little pass by Harrington. Good look, good vision.
Miller on the wing. Nice pass to Young, and he misses the layup. And the follow by Lewis.
Rashard Lewis running the court. Very impressive. You got to say right now, to me, Lewis and Harrington have been the most impressive of all the players here.
Price, young man out of Wilmington, Delaware, knocks it home. He's got 18.
Nice backdoor cut. Nice motion without the ball. Miller with that good backdoor cut. Scored 54 in the game.
The Glaxo tournament, yeah.
Wow.
Michael Miller averaged 30 points a game. He's got 8 in this one.
Well, he averaged 30. Teddy Dupay, who's coming here, averaged 40. Wow, Billy Donovan's going to have a shootout.
Billy may have to buy some more basketballs.
It's going to be spurious kind of offense down here in basketball.
That's a great point. Young with the reverse, and it wouldn't stay. Right there to follow is Vincent Yarborough.
Yarborough with that transition. You know, so many people make this game happen. We saw Sonny Vaccaro, and I know the love and the work that he puts into it. It's unbelievable. His wife, Pam, I can't begin to tell you as we watch the jump shot from the outside, the hours and the work she puts in and the dedication. People like Tracy Lewis and John Dillon and the Caesars. I mean, you talk about Pam DeCesar, Gary DeCesar. They work around the clock for weeks to try and make this happen. This doesn't happen just in a matter of 24 hours.
Prisbilla is going to go to the free throw line. Average 19 a game, 14 rebounds, 9 block shots per game, and what's really impressive, 5.5 assists a game in high school.
9 block shots a game. Wow. There's the nice no-look pass on the inside, the bump on Prisbilla. And his mom and dad today in the lobby of the hotel, very proud of their son. Certainly happy he's staying at home to see him play every game.
You know, Dick, what he told me just before the game, he said the main reasons he's staying at home is Clem Haskins. He said he's a class act, and I just think that he also presents something off the court for his players as well as on, that's a really nice and strong statement.
Well, you know, also, when you get a kid of this quality on the inside, you can build around him. It should attract other players to want to play with him.
Shot off the mark. Here's Harrington. It's Adam, of course. Kind of a wiry young man, but a pure shooter, really a typical two-guard, right, Dick?
Yeah, he's a solid two-guard. He also has good passing ability, but he can really stroke it. I can see Herb Sendek designing all those screens for him to come off. With little Archie Miller dishing the rock, and he could shoot it as well, and Justin Gainey coming back. And with now Shea Cotton at the wing, is a great athlete, originally committed to UCLA. As you watch on the inside, there's Lewis again. He must have got a lot of headlines in your state. I know you're from out of Austin, Texas down there. But things are really hopping down there now with the Tom Pender stepping aside. Everybody's going to be chasing that job to the University of Texas. Ron, send my resume. I haven't lost a game in 19 years. I'm undefeated in television.
Called the lost odds. Prisbilla with the block. They got another shot, and here they come 4-on-1 on the break. There's Young. Missed it. You know, Miller reminds you of the type of kid that he really knows his way around the court. Heady basketball player with good basketball sense.
Well, he seems to have good basketball savvy. I would say with a lot of these kids, they seem to have that extra sense that most kids don't have. But remember, these kids are so experienced with all the AAU competition, with the play during the summer, and also when you think about the special camps they go to. I mean, basketball has become such a specialized area. I just wish that the kids would put a little bit more dedication to the other end of it, the academic end of it, and get more balance.
London. Tip wouldn't go. And here comes Young.
Young out of transition. Got Prisbilla. Give it to the big guy. Give it to the big guy.
Prisbilla working inside. Tip won't go. Miller has it blocked. Young says, let's stop this.
Joe Prisbilla was out in transition, didn't get the rock. The one thing you learn when you play in college, keep the big guys happy. You know what I tried to point out last night, Ron? As you take a look right here, now there's Prisbilla going to work on a glass, trying to keep the ball very active on the inside. Miller, they pop it out of Miller with the block shot. But I tried to impress them last night. When you watch Magic Johnson or Michael Jordan, I said to these young kids, and you watch them in an interview process as we see the foul as Lewis goes to the goal. Whenever they're interviewed, they look in the camera, they dress so neatly. That doesn't take ability, Ron. You don't have to be a gifted athlete to handle yourself with class and to be able to go to an interview and really realize that's an instant resume for you instead of going here and making a fool out of yourself. And really, I tried to stress, take a look at Michael Jordan. Whenever he's interviewed, he dresses like unbelievable. He looks right in the camera, always has a smile on his face. One. And the same with Magic when he played. Magic absolutely played for hours and hours on the pavement. Loved to play the game. See, many of these kids stop. Many of these kids, they get so spoiled along the way, and that's the point I was trying to make, is they get spoiled by the whole system, and they stop doing the things that got them to the top of the mountain.
Harrington got stripped, and here's Young. And sets it up for Rashard Lewis, who picked up his 21st point.
And then they want to raise the roof. A little showtime. You know, Ron, it's amazing, as I told them, a lot of you kids playing here today, if you think that this is the only competition you're going to face as Mr. Price knocks down a 3, forget about it. There are loads of kids like in that Final Four who weren't McDonald's All-Americans or Magic Johnson All-Americans. Ray Young, got a lot of enthusiasm, Young. You think about Nazir Mohammed, think about Shammond Williams, Andre Miller. I mean, those guys, you think about Arthur Lee at Stanford. They weren't big-time superstars.
Harrington trying to go someplace with it. There's Lang, and couldn't get it to go. London loses it.
London, as you said earlier, staying home, going to Memphis. Where he's from. Nice roundabout pass. I like Miller. He's always ahead of the pack, knows how to run the 45-degree angle.
You're right.
They're going to like him down in Florida.
Miller now with 10. Price keeps jacking that thing up from the NBA 3. There's another line up there.
Well, I mean, he's trying to impress the NBA scouts. He's got NBA range. Look at Miller. Look at Miller. Showing that he can use either hand. Gainesville's a great city as well, and I know he's going to really love it down there. Great college environment.
Got a dozen points. There's the horn, the end of the third. Yarbrough's shot would have counted had it gone, but we are done through 3 periods, and let's take a break as we head to the final 12 minutes. It's a 1-point lead for the West, 90-89. We'll be right back after this. On the West, 90-89. That was a 31-11 run in the last 7 minutes and 11 seconds.
Oh, there's John Pelfrey right there, assistant coach down in Florida. See, I was teasing Miller before the game. I said, I'll tell you what. If you had not been signed, you can guarantee the head guy would be sitting here today. But see, you're signed, so the assistant coach comes.
Here's the individual scoring. Price and Lewis, both with 21 points apiece. Pelfrey, of course, was at Oklahoma State with Eddie Sutton also before he took that job down at Florida.
He also was with Marshall with Billy Donovan, but he also, as we know, played at Kentucky, and here's the pipeline. Billy got to know him when he was on the staff for Rick Pitino. I'll tell you, Tubby did a great job in the transition replacing Rick Pitino. But let us not forget that Rick Pitino assembled that team. Rick Pitino taught those kids a lot about winning, and then Tubby just continued it. And you got to credit C.M. Newton for going out and not wasting any time in hiring Tubby. So many other athletic directors, I think they make a mockery out of the hiring process to get so many guys involved, and all the guys do is use it to get more money where they're at.
Yeah, those situations almost take on a life of their own, the hiring process now, don't they?
They all should take a lesson from Tubby, from C.M. Newton. That's Gates. I tell you, he seems to always find the basketball. He always finds the basketball. I know he's going to find some running backs as well with that body. A linebacker.
You know who Gates reminds me of, who starts in the middle, or did this year for Georgia, is Larry Brown, who's a starting tight end for them. One of those type of kids that has a nose for getting it to the hoop.
So difficult to do both, Ron. It's really amazing. Combining that with the academics.
Frank Williams with his 4th point.
Frank got Mr. Basketball Award in the year this year when there's so many outstanding players in the city of Chicago and then state of Illinois.
Yep, he was All-State by the Trib and also by the Sun-Times.
It's hard to believe when you talk about winning 4 high school championships in a row like Coach McLean did at Peoria Manual.
That's Hightower. You know, it really isn't, particularly in a state like Illinois that produces so many, the great competition. You're right.
Great competition.
Williams creating it.
Frankie Williams taking it to the goal, showing his good ball handling ability. Think back over the years and sitting here courtside in so many of these games and seeing them progress. There's Gadzorek working on the inside. Big, strong move. Talking about strong moves, I got a big hug today from Shaquille O'Neal. He asked me to be in one of his videos for an album he's coming out. I can't believe it. I said, Shaq, I can't do rap. He said, yeah, we want you in a video.
He wants you to be one of the dancers?
Yeah, I don't know what he wants. I don't know what I'm going to do. Wow, Shaquille O'Neal. I'll tell you, you talk about a power player on the inside. Lakers are going to be tough in the playoffs. There's no doubt about it. I know the West, you look at Utah, but I got a feeling the Lakers and the Bulls. We're going to talk a little NBA now. The greatest athletes in the world. People ask me all the time, what do you like better? Well, I love the pageantry, the excitement, and the rah-rah, the enthusiasm of a college game. But you certainly got to acknowledge that the greatest athletes in the world are in the NBA.
Nice spin move by Hightower. Reverses it, and he came down. Whoop, look at that ankle.
Wow. That was a great drive by Corey along that baseline. Left Flint Northwestern to be able to get his grades together. Went to Mount Zion. They said it was the best thing for him. There he is working on that reverse. Now, you talk about per capita, the number of players that produced. Not many are going to produce more than they've done up in Flint, Michigan.
Lance Williams, a little too hard on the shot. He was fouled. You know, Dick, another story. Somebody told you that Gadzuric, on the internet, somebody started the rumor that Gadzuric was coming to the state of Michigan. So the Michigan State coaches started getting calls. They thought he was coming to East Lansing to visit, and it all started through a rumor. And come to find out, he was coming here to Detroit to play in the Round Ball Classic. But anyway, the internet, the starter of rumors as well now.
I'll tell you, the internet today, it's just amazing. I'm starting to get a little familiar with it, and I'm such a neophyte when it comes to that. I get nervous just turning it on, but I'm going to tell you, I'm learning. And I know you're a big fan of it. Nice pass.
A little too hard. Terrell Riggs
going out to Detroit. That was a great year this year with Perry Watson. Very athletic youngster.
Averaged almost 25 points a game. He has also the great leaping ability.
I'll tell you, Perry Watson did a phenomenal job this year. Beat St. John's in the NCAA tournament. What a great year for the state of Michigan. Western Michigan, Michigan State, Michigan. Certainly Brian Ellaby this year getting the head job in a tough situation. There's a little jam, up and away.
And he's got his own cheering section over there. Every time Hightower scores.
Yeah, out of Flint, Michigan, they all love him. And he is trying to excite his people. There he is. Oh, doesn't get it to fall. And then we're dancing with joy, this cheering section. Kids are having a lot of fun. I think the camaraderie, watching them all associate with each other. They read so much about each other, and now they get a chance to compete with one another. As long as they don't forget that while they're playing here, there's some little kid out there with his dreams and his ball, chasing that same dream. His name, think about it, a Tim Duncan, a David Robinson. They were not superstars in high school, but yet with work ethic today, they have become such dominant players.
Look at the numbers on Williams. 18 and 5.
A very quiet 18.
Yeah.
Very quiet 18. But you know what? It's still 18. Any way you cut it. Whether it's a high-flying jam or it's a low-post box move on the inside.
Zurich with the tip, couldn't get it to go.
This kid can handle a rock right here, Frankie Williams. Oh, nice little stutter move.
Oh, my. And Dooling couldn't hold on to it.
Yeah, Dooling had a big jam. They were ready to rock and roll. They were ready to party.
If he had jammed that home, we would have raised the rafters. 1 point lead, East. Be right back. Now looking up at the rafters here at the Palace. Isaiah Thomas, Bill Laimbeer.
Well, who won those national championships, NBA titles in '88 and '89. Unbelievable. These guys will love to see their names eventually hanging on the rafters somewhere. Got a long way to go for that. Isaiah Thomas was so special. Inch for inch, pound for pound. Maybe the greatest ever to play the game.
Under 8 minutes left to play. East by 1 and a foul on the play. Looks like Terrell Riggs is going to pick up the foul. And Gates goes to the line, trying to make it point number 14 for him.
I mean, Isaiah Thomas now working in the world of television. He's got that charming smile and certainly brings a lot of hoop knowledge from his days playing with the Hoosiers of Indiana, with the Pistons.
Tell you what, the scoreboard operators had quite a task today. The Pistons and the Lakers went into overtime. That was 105-103. We've already had 206 points scored in this one. It's going to burn out some bulbs.
You know, I left here early because I had to get to the hotel, change, and get back here, and the Pistons were blowing the Lakers out. When I got back here,
I heard what you did.
I got out of the car, and all of a sudden I see Jerry Stackhouse, and he says, "How you doing, Coach?" I said, "Jerry." I said, "You guys had a nice win today, huh?" He said, "No, we got beat in overtime." I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
Job in the follow. Gates, 16 points. Always around there.
Working on the offensive boards. Tommy Amick's in the house from out of Seton Hall. And he's here with a former Dookie, a buddy of his. Grant Hill's in the house. Skip Prosser's here from Xavier, watching Lloyd Price play.
Boy, Hightower with 16 now.
Yeah, he's playing really impressive here in the second half.
Lance Williams is getting away with this big body.
Two Chicago guys going with it. Williams and Mr. Frankie Williams to Lance Williams.
Gilbert, his first points in the second half. He's got 6. And how about Corey Hightower? Corey Hightower, master of the no-look. He really handles in the open court extremely well.
Yeah, he's got good handling skills. Very explosive player. Set him up for the jam, yes sir! Bring the house down, raise the roof, baby! Up and away, a little showtime! And that's what these games are all about! To excite the fans, show a little pizzazz, a little showtime, appreciate the agility, the mobility, and that's what this is all about. It's not about strategy, it's about camaraderie, it's about fans like this enjoying the moment, cheering for their favorite people. Look at this, Ron, up and away!
Dueling has done just a little bit of everything today.
They're going to set some back screens up in Missouri. Use Albert White's screening ability. Get that big body and let this guy go off the back screen, throw the lob to him.
Norm Stewart sitting up there diagramming plays right now. Gates, 16 points, 7 rebounds. Well, don't forget the NBA tonight. It goes beyond the highlights to discuss strategies, philosophies, and also the latest from around the NBA. Tuesday through Saturday. On the follow, there's Lewis. And whistles, they will stop play for a moment. And substitute coming into the lineup, number 4, Vincent Yarbrough. And Gates goes to the bench. So wholesale changes for both teams. Brisbilla back out on the floor. Young is out as well.
Well, you got a close game here to West +4.
Al Harrington, hand in the face, trying to create. Shot is short, and Brisbilla comes up with.
Yeah, they really bothered him on that one, challenged him on that shot, took away his vision.
Young, nice penetration. Couldn't get it to go.
Chris Lang with the rebound. Out of Gastonia, North Carolina.
He's a National Honor Society kid, Dick. You were talking about the books and the court.
So is Ron Curry going out to North Carolina. Imagine being a Parade High School Football Player of the Year and also being a McDonald's Basketball Player of the Year. That's just amazing. Think about it. To be voted the best in football and basketball, even if you're not the best. Let's say you're top 10. That's still incredible to do it in both sports.
So it really is.
When does he get a time to just, and then also a National Honor Society? I mean, when does he get a chance to socialize? At least the crowd has been thrilled here today, seeing some really sensational plays, watching some unbelievable talent that will now step in. That's the beauty of college basketball. Get excited about the new diaper dandies that arrive on a campus.
Stolen by Young. Feeds it to Miller, and he scores.
Nice little triangle inside. Miller gets good post position. You know, the beauty of the game for 3 weeks, that NCAA tournament was the best, Ron. So many unbelievable buzzer beaters, so much excitement. And those jerseys, they don't change. The name of North Carolina, Kentucky, and Michigan, and you name those schools. And the unbelievable emotion and excitement of college basketball. I was really down when guys were leaving early. Guys like Marbury and Iverson and Camby and Allen. But now you reflect, the game will go on and on because it's bigger than any individual.
You know what, Dick? The thing to me that was so special about this year, particularly the championship game, there were no stars. It was team.
It was definitely a team.
Both teams, you know, we're talking about 9 and 10 guys that play a lot, but it was team. It was not a guy who's going to necessarily go to the NBA or be the Naismith Award winner.
Great point you make there, Ron. Super point, because take a look at Utah versus Kentucky. On those clubs, Chris Fowler and I talked about it in Digger Phelps. You didn't have one guy that was a All-American. There was no All-American players on the team. Andre Miller came on strong at the end of the year, but he was not a first-team All-American. Certainly Jeff Shepard had a good year, but he wasn't an All-American. But the bottom line is, you're right. Everything was related to the team concept. T for togetherness, E for effort, A for attitude, and M for mental toughness. And that's what winners have.
6-point lead for the West. About to go into 4.
Nice pass. Nice pass.
And the block. Lang fouled him.
I love to see movement on offense. I love to see player movement. I like to see ball movement. When you have those things happen, you see good things happen on the floor. And those are examples of the teams that advance to the tournament. It's not about one guy doing his thing and everybody else snapping a picture, being a Kodak man. Let's take some pictures, baby. Get the Kodak out. Get the Instamatic out. Hey, look at that beautiful little girl. She likes what she's seeing.
Vincent Yarbrough, as Jerry Green says, the whole package. Just he can do everything and score from everywhere.
I said a little girl, and reflecting back in my early days here, Michigan, my daughter was a little girl. Now she's getting married. I can't believe how old I'm getting. There's the jam by Mr. Young. I may be 58, Ron, but as my daughters always say, Dad, you act about 12, and that's the greatest compliment they can give me.
Let's take another look at Young jamming at home right here.
There's Ray Young. I think he's going to be a good one.
By the way, he is an honor roll student the last 2 years as well.
He's going to be a good one down at UCLA. He really is going to be a solid player for them. And they could use his kind of ability with Toby Bailey moving on.
Lewis takes that outlet pass from Prisbilla.
That's a big-time move. That's an absolute big-time move. The spin in the lane, the change of direction.
He's got 25 points. When you watch him like that in the open floor, you forget how large he is the way he moves and handles, Dick.
Very agile. Good hand-eye coordination.
Prisbilla again.
Look at this. He went around the back. Comes to the jump stop. Got that nice touch. A-Leaf has got to be mighty, mighty proud of this guy.
27 points as we go under 3.
Elsec High School, I guess is the name of the high school out of A-Leaf.
A-Leaf also. Prisbilla and Harrington turn around and give each other high fives to say there was nothing personal. No malice or forethought involved there with the big fella and Al Harrington. There's a break in the action. We'll take it with them. 121 to 108. The West has gone back out on top. We'll be right back.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen,
13-point lead with 3:02 to play by the West in what has truly been a seesaw battle. The West jumped out, then here came the East. East led by 10 at halftime. Yarbrough. That was way out beyond the NBA line.
They're going to really love him down in Tennessee. I tell you, talk about he'll join Tony Harris and company, and they'll get Charles Hathaway back, who had the unfortunate blood clot problem last year. They're going to be a heck of a club in the SEC.
Well, you know, Tony was a co-freshman of the year in the SEC with Jermaine Jones, who we were talking about. Prisbilla with the block, and Miller saves it. Now, that is great hustle right there, and you missed the jam. Yarbrough
gets the deuce. Hey, you talk about Tennessee, but what about the record of Pat Summitt? 3 national titles in a row. Shamika Holtzclaw. Hey, she can play with the guys. I'll tell you, she is super.
I'll tell you what, this is going to be her, you know, when you win a national championship, you know, you go to Washington. She's made so many trips to the White House, they may subpoena her.
There's Ray Trae Young knocking down the three. Hey, with Shamika coming back and that whole team in a good recruiting class, they got a shot to go again for 4 in a row. You talk about a winner. Shamika Holsclaw didn't lose a title in high school and lose one in college.
That's right.
That's someone to coach on any level.
Little too tall. Prisbella touched it last, so that'll go back the other way. 1:38 left in the ball game. 129 to 111.
Rashard Lewis really took over when things got really tough. He took over and dominated. I think you got an unbelievable scoop if he's not the MVP. If he's not, I'm going to give him a trophy. I'm going to give him a trophy. I'll go buy a trophy for him. I'll call Sonny Vaccaro, Sonny V. We got to get him a trophy if he doesn't get one.
Let me tell you something. This kid right here,
Prisbella was brilliant too.
Has really done an outstanding job.
There he is challenging people.
Well, he got the block before. This time it's a foul.
He's got 14 rebounds as well.
That's what he averaged in high school. 14 rebounds a game, and he's got 14 in this one today. So many kids. The interesting thing is the points that you're making. The kids that plug in immediately in programs that you know are there. By the time mid-season comes, they're going to be a lot of help.
See, I think that kids sometimes make decisions that are not really valid in terms of selecting, as you look at the numbers right now, where they really fit in. I think it's so important to fit yourself in where you can become a player and get the kind of minutes. I mean, obviously, their academics, all these schools, look at Young with the Jam. The schools they're considering going in, the Carolinas, the Kansases, and right down the line are all good schools academically. But you got to also fit in where you're going to be comfortable and where you can play.
Price fouled by Lewis.
And there's the drive down the lane. And anybody who doesn't believe that a young man picks a school because of the importance of the coach is only kidding themselves. I mean, you hear some people say, oh, they got to pick a school for the school as you look at Young with the drive. They pick a school based on their relationship and where they fit in. And that's why I'd like to see change the rule, just like down in Texas. Tom Pender signed some kids early. I think those youngsters should have a right now, since they've never enrolled in Texas, a high school player out of New York they signed, he should have the right to be able to be re-recruited by the new coach. And if he doesn't want to go there for that new coach, he should not be penalized if he wants to go elsewhere, because he's never enrolled in Texas.
Good point. Yarbrough with the finger roll will score it.
Yarbrough's starting to step it up a little right now.
He seems very unselfish. When he wants to step it up, he can do it big time.
Well, he's going to really fit in nice in Jerry Green's system.
Now the MVP of the East, Corey Hightower. And guess who for the West?
Well, Rashard gets the trophy. I don't have to go buy him a trophy. They save me some dollars. I don't have to buy a trophy. I got bailed out last night. Sonny Vaccaro almost got me the Jam. He said we're going to start now on Kobe Bryant's jersey, and Dick Vitale's going to start it off with a bid of about $1,000.
So, okay. You didn't buy it. That lady bought it.
Yeah, she got it. Yeah,
I see.
I allowed her to have it. Her $1,000 was a little better than my $1,000.
You went back and picked Lorraine up off the floor. I thought you spent $1,000.
I got a wedding to pay for. And the West prevails, but that's not what this is all about. It's about camaraderie. It's about understanding where you're at in life and understand that with work ethic that got you to where you are today, you must continue that drive and that desire if you want to get to the next level. As you look at Sonny Vaccaro walking off with the winning coach, Mr. Grant was the winner here today. Ray Grant's the winner.
Cleveland, Tennessee, Cleveland High School. 20-point game. The West wins it after trailing by 10 at halftime. They really stormed back in the second half, and one of the reasons they did, Lewis, we've got him with 27 points and 11 rebounds. And mention what you did off the top of the telecast. He may not be going to the colleges. You have an idea he could wind up in the pro.
Well, he can. I mean, that's one of his options right now, because obviously it's been documented he doesn't have the necessary scores, standardized scores. So his next option would be to go to the NBA draft, and I really hope he goes to college and makes those scores, because I think down deep, I think he really would like to be able to make that transition from high school to the collegiate ranks. But isn't it really sad in a way that from a motivational standpoint, think about it. I mean, the penalty is that you get thousands and thousands of dollars and go to the NBA, because obviously he would be certainly a late first-round draft choice.
A couple of other kids on the West that were impressive. Gates, who's going to Michigan State to play both football and basketball. And Prisbilla, I keep going back to him. I can understand after watching him in person today why Clem Haskins is so excited. He will help them next year.
Oh, no doubt about it. He'll be an instant impact diaper dandy. I really like Lloyd Staggerly Price. I know Skip Prosser has to like him as well. And he's going to be a valuable player in that Xavier system. And Xavier certainly could be next year a preseason top 10 team in America. Just like right here, Tom Izzo and Michigan State, with Mateen Cleaves and company coming back, is certainly going to be a team to reckon with. But also, when you think about the players in this game, I mean, I love Al Harrington. There is no doubt about it, Ron. He's the real deal. He's a power player, a finesse player. He's got great mobility. And Ray Young going out there to UCLA. When you talk about UCLA,
love him.
Yeah, with Jerron Rush, and if they get Dan Gedzoric, who told me yesterday, I mean, he flat out told me that if he makes the necessary scores, that basically that's his number one place that he is thinking of, and that is UCLA.
Thanks so much. Again, our final score, the West 135 and the East 115. For Dick Vitale, Ron Franklin saying so long from the Palace. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.